Let's go.
Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all of you, to listeners, campus networking team, and also our guests. Alright. So before we begin, Muhammad is beside me, and he mentioned that he want to have small thoughts or small discussions about something that we have not know about it. So Muhammad, can you elaborate more about it? Your small thoughts.
Well, actually, I was just mentioning like small talks before the discussion.
Okay.
I remember yesterday when we were trying to break the ice.
All right.
We asked some pretty interesting questions.
Yeah, really, really interesting.
Some deep questions.
Yeah,
to say
deep
that.
question. Yeah.
And the question was as follows. I said, if you were to have dinner with 3 people that you've never met,
Okay.
or that you've met already, who would they and what would be the reason? And then you talked about your grandfather.
Yeah, my grandfather,
Your best friend.
my best friend, and also my father for sure.
And your father.
Yeah.
So all family and friends oriented.
Yeah, family and friends.
And then she went on to say,
My grandmother and my dad
yeah,
and
Mufti Meng.
Mufti Mink.
for
Yes.
some reason, yes.
It was so random.
Oh, nice.
But we didn't hear Maryam because Winner wasn't here.
I listened. I was a listener. Yeah, I was running to catch up.
If you were to answer the question like quickly.
Okay, I'd say my grandpa.
Okay.
Um.
It doesn't have to be family oriented, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be literally
Yeah,
anyone.
And I think one of the Muslim scientists.
Just some random Muslim family.
Yeah. One of the. I think
In what field? In what field?
the thing is they didn't have fields back then.
Like
It's like
Khawarizmi?
I think so. I think Khawarizmi. I think. Yes. I don't remember the name actually, but one of them, because they didn't have like fields. Whatever you wanted to learn, you would learn, and then you'd move on, and that was like super nice. So I wanted like to meet them, one of them, and then maybe let's say the Mariam.
Oh.
Fair enough. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
And then I
that
was
would be
like,
nice.
for me, it would have been probably the Prophet ﷺ, first
Yeah.
of all.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And then I said a modern leader, let's say King Abdulaziz.
Yeah.
And then third one was going to be my great-grandfather.
My great grandfather.
So there you go. That kind of gives you a little
Oh my god.
glimpse of our
Yeah.
personalities. Yeah.
Like meeting like someone you've never met but you've heard about in your family.
Imagine having dinner
It's
with-
very interesting for me.
Okay, I want to
Yeah.
change.
Too late.
scratch the
late.
Muslim
Too late.
scientist.
Way
Okay,
too
my
late.
grandpa.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, my grandpa.
Again?
Yes,
It's like both of them.
like a great grandpa.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
An ancestor.
He's in my name, but like after like yeah, I think 7th or like I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Anyways,
Oh, you went for.
yeah.
All right. A good way to start our podcast for today. Okay, to get some click with them, to get a good connection, to get a good I think a good spirit to continue our podcast for today. Okay. So welcome again to the Campus Networking 2024 podcast, and I'm Haris Daniel, or you guys can call me DJ for short. And I'm thrilled to be your host for today. We've got an exciting session lined up specifically as we dive into the world of podcasting, student life, and the challenges and triumphs of being an international student at the UTM. Our spotlight for today is on the Castronics Podcast. Okay, Castronics Podcast, a platform that has been sparking meaningful conversations and connecting communities. We will hear the behind the scenes stories. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be interesting. Explore the motivations and challenges, and even get some good advice for aspiring podcasters in our audience. But before we begin, a quick note for you, especially for the listeners. Okay, we'd love for you to be the part of our conversation today. If you have questions or thoughts, send them to us in the Webex chat box, and we will answer your questions in the end of our podcast session. So grab your headphones, settle in, and let's get started, okay? To kick things off, okay? I'd love for our listeners to get to know you a bit better, shall we?
Sure thing.
All right. So Mariam,
Oh my god.
would you like to introduce yourself first, and you can share a little bit about yourself? Maybe the interesting story about you, a short story, I guess. And
Oh.
same goes to Haja and also Muhammad lah.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
right?
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name's Mariam Sissini, and I'm now officially an engineering graduate. A mechatronics engineering graduate, let's say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Just graduated like 3 months ago.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Still did not post Instagram post. Soon. One of the co-hosts of the Castronics, and I love painting.
You love painting,
Yes.
right?
That was so random.
No, everyone knows I love painting.
Indeed.
I'm about to be random.
Go ahead.
So, my name is Haja Ali, and I'm also part of the Castronics, obviously. I'm a fourth year mechatronics student, about to graduate, inshallah.
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 And I like to take videos. I'm interested in video editing, vlogging, you name it. Hopefully director one day. Career shifting, basically.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I'm Mohammed bin Saeed Toure,
Okay.
commonly known as MBS, conveniently.
MBS.
I graduated in mechatronics last year. I'm currently doing my master's degree. And I'm also a Castronics host.
Castronics host.
I like sports. I like meeting with people.
Okay.
I'm a very extrovert person. So that's kind of the activities that I like to do. Yeah.
Can I know what sports that you admire the most?
Oh, sports. I like basketball,
Basketball,
football,
football.
and going to the gym. It's
Go
like
to
my
the gym.
hobby.
What team are you support?
I said I play, not that I watch. I don't watch any.
Controversial.
I play.
Don't watch
Yeah.
any,
Controversial.
but you love the sport lah.
I love the sport. I just feel like it's a waste of time to watch.
Oh,
Controversial again.
Can be.
Rather than watching for 90 minutes, I'd rather just
Is
follow
it
the
worth
ball.
it?
It's
myself.
worth it. You know, it's worth it.
It is fun, but I just can't get myself to be that
I
patient.
see. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you to our speakers for their brief introduction about themselves. It's pretty good. Okay, painting, videographing, and also playing sports. Okay. All right. Now that we have gotten to know a little bit about you guys, so I'm sure our listeners are curious. What exactly is Castronics Podcast? What is it, man? Castronics? What is Castronics? The name alone sparks so much intrigue, right? Castronics. What is Castronics? Honestly, I'm even find myself wondering about the podcast. Okay, just yesterday, Muhammad introduced to me about the Castronics podcast, and I'm so excited to know more about it. Okay, the design itself, the template in the IG section, is so good. The color combination between the purple, the blue, and white, I guess. So, can you share more about the Castronics podcast? Any of you?
Well, first of all, thank you for your flattering opinion on the Castronics.
Yeah.
The design actually goes, the credit goes to Mario.
I'm blushing.
So there you go. The Castronics, as the name suggests, it's a combination of two words.
Okay.
Which is the end of the word podcast
Podcast.
and the end of the word mechatronics.
Mechatronics.
Because we're all mechatronics graduate.
I see.
So we didn't have to look so far for a name. You know, Castronics is just like the,
It's
you know,
right
the
there.
nearest thing right there. There you go. And so we started because the aim is actually to help mostly students
Okay.
to navigate through their studies at uni, because it's a very sensitive, let's say, period of their lives. So having like a sort of place where you can listen to ideas, get inspired from, was the main goal. Basically, that's why we started the Castronics.
All right. So, how many episodes that you guys have produced in the podcast?
I think we're at 23 and still counting.
Inshallah, still counting.
Just
Hopefully.
20.
Just started
Inshallah.
season 3.
Just 23.
And among those episodes, which of the episodes that you guys I can maybe it's the most popular one, I guess. And why is it popular?
For some reason, people like the first
Yeah.
first or second episode,
First and second
I
episode.
hate them so much.
Look, the very first episode
Okay.
was probably the best inexperience, let's say, because we're still new to the craft.
Yeah.
But from a professional standpoint of view, it's like the worst because the quality
Yes.
is below
Oh my
the
god,
bar.
the sound quality. We just like he got new mics, and we were in the what is it? The not study
Discussion room.
discussion room.
Discussion
Yeah,
room at
in
the library.
Pizza S.
Library. Oh.
And then yeah, we wanted to be like professional and try the mics
Okay.
and stuff like that. And then later on, when we listened to and we talked, and then we recorded 2 episodes. Like the first 2 episodes,
Okay.
we recorded together. And then after listening to them, we were like, oh no, why didn't we just record with our phones? The quality would have been
was
so much
horrible.
better. Like the mic was, I don't know, it ruined the quality of the sound.
It was
So,
really bad.
Yeah.
Like you could hear the echo. You
Okay.
could hear like every
There's
single little
so much
thing.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the microphone is so sensitive until you get here
was
about the
bad.
echoes and the small
Oh well,
sound?
2 things. First of all, the mic wasn't that good of a quality,
Okay.
and second of all, the room was not plastered with internal
I
raising
see.
plasters, basically. So it's like an empty room. So you can imagine the echo that is in it, and so the quality was, just below the bar. But my theory as to why that episode was popular is not because people like it. I think it's just because people want to know who we are.
Ah.
Yeah.
Because the
Makes
title
sense.
is
Honestly,
"Who
makes
Are
sense.
We?" So basically, you're gonna try to listen to the first episode to find out who these people actually are,
Yeah.
and then you listen to that recording, and be like, that's enough,
Oh my god, it was horrible.
So you guys just upload it and don't have to re-record it again? Oh, how?
We thought about
Re-recording?
fixing and
But-
re-recording.
But it was like from the heart, Like
Yeah.
it was the first
Yeah.
time and it was the beginning. And yeah, the first take was like, because for me, when I'm usually like recording, I like to improvise. I don't like to really write like a script or like read anything. So like whatever we would re-record wouldn't have been the same. Wouldn't be like wouldn't be exactly the same and wouldn't be from the heart. It would be something different.
You can't
Yeah.
fake natural behaviors. You just
Yeah.
can't fake it.
Sometimes random things, for my opinion, sometimes random things that we do is producing much better results than the things that we plan.
Yeah.
For example, for 3 months we plan this kind of activity and then we execute it, and we compare the result between we just go random, just go instantly. So the result sometimes it promises the happiness, the joy in it that you guys did. Okay, for the first or 2 episodes, I guess. So that's why you don't have to re-record it. Okay. All right. So basically, that's what Castronics Podcast. Okay. So for the audience out there, don't forget to watch the Castronics Podcast. Okay, and make it one of your favorite podcasts. All right.
At the Castronics on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
find us Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts.
All platforms. Don't worry. Okay. All right, audience. So we will start with some serious question, but not too serious. And I guess you guys can deal with it, okay, casually. Okay. Right. So, what support or resources have you found helpful for mental health challenges, and how can the UTM community better assist international students in this kind of area, mental health? Okay.
I'll let Mariam
Okay,
start.
so I'd like to tell a story.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so basically, second year, by second year we came from COVID, and
Yeah.
because we're, I think it was only electrical and chemical. I think that like they called their students out in the middle of the semester, so we started like coming back, and like the whole campus was empty and stuff. And then by the others, like the next semester after it, like
Okay.
by almost our third year, it started getting like very overwhelming, because like we've been for like a year and a half
Yeah.
in doing online, and especially for like international students, because we were back in our home country. So the time difference was really bad. Like I was in Egypt and I would have like 8 a.m. classes at like 2 a.m. Like I would wake up at 2 a.m. and I was previously I was like an early bird, so I would sleep early and wake up early.
Okay.
And then like because we had 2 a.m. classes, so I'd have to like sleep for like 2 hours and then wake up, or like wake up right before the class. So that was like, and then coming back to face, it was totally different. So by the time my brain could like realize what's happening, it started messing with my academic like area. I started to like struggle with actually studying. Like I don't like to be absent, so I would like attend all my classes.
Okay.
But then actually studying, it was like, why am I not studying? I would like procrastinate like really bad.
Okay.
And then like study like maybe the day before or the night before. And it was so bad. And it started messing with my grades. So I was like, okay, what do I do? So I found that like UTM has like the Pusat counseling.
Yeah, Pusat counseling.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's try that. It's free.
Okay, yeah.
So
Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
You get it, right?
I'm not losing anything.
Okay.
So I went there. I filled like a form and stuff, and then I started like I met with one of the counselors, and we started talking and stuff. By the end, it I'd like to say, it was counseling. It wasn't therapy,
Okay.
but it actually kind of helped. Like when I look back at it, I was like, it didn't really help in my brain. I felt there was no change and stuff like that. But then looking back at it, the person gave me like techniques to try and stuff to do to try to overcome it a bit. So I'd say it helped me like 20%, which is still progress.
Yeah, it's still progress.
Like it's still something that actually helped. And then so that's like the mental health part. I found that like actually asking for help and talking with people really helps. Especially like even seniors, like if you are like specifically on the like studying aspect of it,
Yeah.
and because we're university students, so like talking with seniors and asking for them for help or assisting or whatever you're struggling with, they really have like tips and tricks because they've already kind of been through that
Yeah.
and somehow overcame that. So they kind of have solutions depending on the senior and stuff. So that's the mental health aspect. And then you come to like being international students.
Yeah.
So after graduating, I realized that UTM has like an amazing support for international students. Like looking at my friends from other universities and stuff. No, UTM, for each country, they have their own international student society.
Yeah.
That basically people from your country that are like showing you the university and how to deal with stuff. And like because I'm Egyptian, so I says Egypt. So they make like these welcome days every semester for new students, where you get to know your like the whole university. They give you like a tour, and you get to know seniors. You sit with the seniors like in an ice-breaking session to know what's happening and giving you tips and tricks on lectures, how to study that,
Okay.
what subject to take with who, and it really does help. So UTM has an awesome, actually really really good support for international students. Looking back at it from like outside,
Okay.
like when you're inside, you're like, oh my god, why are they doing this? Why do we have to do that? And you keep like
Yeah.
complaining about it. But then after you leave, you're like, I miss these people.
Yeah, you get you will miss all the activities that being held by
Yes.
your ISS.
Yes, so
Okay.
much. And comparing it to other people from other universities, no, UTM is awesome, honestly.
UTM is awesome.
Especially for international students. So yeah, that like the ISSs really help in like the nostalgia even and learning about new cultures too. It really helps with the like getting to know new people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you guys will feel welcome by your community as well from
Yes.
your country back then, and also the UTM also provide pusat counseling to assist you guys better in
Yeah.
coping all those struggles in the UTM as being international students. So I think I'm confident the pressure is there. The pressure is high when you are far from your country.
There's always going to be
Yeah.
pressure.
So it's so.
If I may,
so good.
if I may add to this, the fact that look, the Pusat counseling doesn't have enough people that publicize it or talk about it. I've read some statistics the other day for
Okay.
a certain country in the Middle East, and they said that about 70% of people who actually need mental health counseling
All right.
do not even know that they need that help. And that from the people that go to counseling or mental health counseling, only 40 of them actually need it. The
Yeah.
60 remaining percent, they don't even have anything. Like they're probably just going through some bad times and they go to see mental health. So I feel like there's got to be more awareness, let's say,
Yeah.
in that regard. And not just bare awareness, as in try to provide a solution from a practical point of view. Let's say, for example,
Okay.
if she could have, I'm just giving an idea here,
Yeah.
like a seminar in which you teach students how to manage stress before
Okay.
exams. That's like a practical step to help them, better their mental health, and many more like that. I think more of these activities will definitely foster on the already good work that UTM is doing in that regard.
Right. So basically, based on your idea, Muhammad, so the main issue is the participation of the student itself. Okay, doesn't matter you are from international students or you are from local students. So they will not join the program because for them, okay, like you said, management stress management before exam. Some of them might think, oh, this is the small matter, I can go through it. So why do I have to join the seminar? Spend my time about 1 or 2 hours listening to the speakers, okay, for the topics that I can cope it easily. So basically, those are one of the issue that happen in our community. All right, the participation. Okay, the stereotype also I would like to add, because some of them might think those people who went to the pusat counseling is crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy
I
and
am.
weak. No, not you, because you are very clever, okay, to get some assist for a problem. And they might think those people are weak because they couldn't solve their own problems and need other people to assist them. That one of these stereotypes lah.
Actually, I was one of those people.
Okay.
I used to think not used to.
I'm getting
I used
offended.
to. No, wait, let me explain. I used to think that people who used to go to like therapy and all of that, like they really couldn't like help themselves out.
Yeah.
And there was a time in my life where I was like, okay, you know what? You can fix yourself. Because I had problems too. I had problems
Yeah,
with mental
sure.
health. And I went for counseling in Posat counseling.
So counseling.
For me, to be fully honest, it did not help.
Okay.
To be honest, it did not help. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should start like trying different methods. So I started looking at myself and I started watching videos. I started reading a lot about it and I started researching about it. So I found my way through it as to basically journaling.
Journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Journaling really helped me a lot, and it really helped me basically discover myself, because I was thinking a lot, but at the same time I didn't know what I was feeling. So basically writing it on paper and then reading it back helped me I was doing this and that, and I felt stressed because of that. So it helped me analyze myself a bit more. Oops. So that's it for the counseling / mental health.
Okay.
For the program you're talking about, the stress management,
All right.
I actually came across a poster
Okay.
one day when I was scrolling through Instagram. I found a poster that was talking about stress management and all of that, and it had like activities that are actually interactive. And I thought about it. The only reason I didn't attend was
Okay.
the timing was
The timing.
clashing with something else.
I see.
So, but it was very interesting. Like for me, not just as an international student, I think a lot of people would relate on this. But if like a program is an interactive, like it's not just like a speaker coming and talking about
Yeah.
stress management. We all know stress management.
Yeah, we
okay?
all know stress management.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We think we know.
We think
or
we
we
know.
think we know. But like, no offense, but like if someone comes and speaks about stress management, I wouldn't really be motivated to attend like such program.
It's kind of boring, right?
Yeah, it's kind of boring. But if it's like interactive and they actually show you why you are
Yeah.
stressed and like how you can deal with stress, I think it would be way more effective. So yeah.
And to add, basically, those programs will be held online. So the interaction between the speaker
That's
and
also
also the
another problem.
participants, I can say about
I hate
less than
online.
10%, I guess.
really hate
Except
online.
for the quiz, okay, where the participants really eager to win the prize, okay, without even listening to the lecture.
Or
okay?
just waiting for the attendance.
Yeah, just waiting for
Oh,
the
yeah.
attendance. They will QR merit. Okay.
DTM merit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it all goes back to educating people.
Yeah.
It's going to take time for people to realize that, okay, you know what, I need mental health counseling. And as we said, it comes with education. It will take time, as I said. And as time passes, people will realize that, indeed, I need to learn about, how to manage my stress, how to deal with this kind of issue, how to be more resilient in some times.
Yeah.
Because as you said, I think it's sort of, it's kind of a mental state.
Yeah.
And it's not just in Malaysia, I think around
the
many
world.
countries
Yeah.
where people think that, look, I've got mental health issues. No, I'm weak, or I've got serious illnesses, And it's more so you more find that in the older generations.
Yeah, older
whereby
generation.
our generation and people that are coming after, they usually know what mental health
Yeah.
is, because it's more of a they're more aware of it. And that's why I said that it takes time.
Yeah, it takes
It's
time.
probably not the mental health counseling is probably not going to be a big thing for us. It's maybe a big thing for our kids or
Yeah.
our grandkids, but it will take time someday.
Right. Thank you for the speakers for your insights about the mental health challenges, on how you overcome those problems. Okay, by seeking help from Pusat Counseling and also from your ISS society. Okay. Alright, so back to podcasting, okay? Please share your process of making an episode of the Castronics Podcast, okay? I mean, the planning, for sure you guys will have a meeting, multiple meetings before inviting some of
How do you know?
I assume that's the process that we will do when we want to organize any kind of program, whether it's online or physical. We will have a series of meeting, okay? And series of analyzing which place, okay, how many budget that we have, and so on. That's basically the progress of doing a program behind the scenes lah. Okay, so like, how do you guys make it happen? Okay, from on paper to the live, right? From the planning to the podcast itself.
How do
If
you
I may start, to be honest, now it's organized, but it wasn't always like that.
Okay.
So
Why
we
did you have
started
to say
very
that?
randomly before. I remember when we first started, it was like, oh, guys, I have an idea, I have a topic, let's just sit down and
Okay.
then record, and that's it. But as time passes, we started to streamline it. So now we have more like a process that we go
Okay.
through before actually making it happen. So we usually have like a monthly meeting every month,
Monthly meeting,
or
okay.
every 2 weeks, depending on the need, whereby we discuss what is going to be our plan, what are the topics that we need to discuss, what are the people that we need to bring on
Yeah.
board sometimes. And then once that is set, we decide of a date, an appropriate date, the invitation to the person, and then each one of us has like usual tasks that they do.
Okay.
Someone is in charge of the editing, someone is in charge of the designing, someone is in charge of, we have different tasks that we do. And then we have our life is basically Google Sheets and Google Docs, as you can,
Okay.
and
And
that's
calendar.
how basically we streamline it until we make it happen.
What?
All right, Mariam.
Yeah, the-
Okay, since Muhammad has shared to me that
The
you
secrets.
the second no,
Oh, no.
that you're the one who designed
Yes.
the interface of your Castronics Podcast IG, right? So can I know, since you love painting, right? So for sure you have a better knowledge about the selection of colors, the selection of designs, and maybe you have do some research about what design that suits the Castronics Podcast. Is it the elements of mechatronics need to be put in the design, or what else?
Not really. The name was just impromptu.
Okay.
But so the selection of colors, basically, these were my favorite colors.
Okay.
Except yellow. Okay, except
Yeah,
yellow.
I was confused.
I really hate yellow. But then it matched the vibe. So it's not really like the colors. I chose like the colors I like, and I was like, okay, hey guys, this is the color palette. What do you think? And then they're like, yeah, okay, sure, no problem. But then it's the placement of the thing. So if you look at the logo,
Okay.
so basically it's a mic,
Yeah.
and then it's like bubbles. So what I like about our logo is that it's like a lot of bubbles,
Okay.
but then there are 3 bubbles that are different color, and they're like out there, like they're in front, like in the front layer.
That represents
So
us.
that represents us 3. It's
Okay,
like
good.
all this noise and people talking, but we can only like see ourselves. I don't know.
I see.
It sounds very narcissistic. Say it out loud. But that's what I really thought about in the like logo itself. So yeah, that's the main thing that I really put some energy in.
Okay.
And then for the rest, it just comes when we're working. It's like, oh, I have an idea, and then they sometimes give input, and then I give input, and someone, and then we discuss it together. And if we all agree on it, and we're okay with it, then okay, that's how the post's gonna look like, or that's where we'll put this when depends on the thing we're posting or whatever. So it's mostly like teamwork.
Teamwork.
I just choose the colors because
Okay.
some colors make me angry. I don't know.
Okay. I want to highlight the point that you mentioned that the 3 bubbles. Okay. The 3 bubbles is resembling all of you 3.
Yes.
And I like it so much. Your idea basically for the 3 bubbles, because in the world of designing logo, many of the companies, many of the clients wants the designer to create some design that really showed who the client are. Okay, for example, that you said the 3 bubbles. Okay, so Muhammad, Hajar, and also Mariam will be the 3 bubbles, and also the clients out there also want the same thing for their logo. So basically that's their request lah. Okay, so Hajar, okay, can I know what is your task for the Castronics podcast? Is it you the one who's really formative? Okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, Muhammad, you need to do this, Mariam. You're the one who sets the deadline or whatnot.
Nope. I'd like to say nope.
Okay.
He's the one in charge of that.
Oh, Muhammad
Yeah.
is the one.
He's the
who's
one
in
who's
charge.
like,
Okay.
guys, we have an episode coming. Here's the Google Docs. Here's the Google Sheets. Here's the calendar. We want to do it on this date. Are you guys free?
Look, for Hajar's defense,
Okay.
she's like our, let's say, our publisher.
Okay,
She's like
publisher.
our public relations manager.
Ah.
So she's in charge of posting, making the captions, and all that work is on her.
All the
end.
social media marketing stuff.
Basically,
yeah.
Everything that
Yeah.
relates to marketing and ideas, that's her. That's her piece of bread. Let's say that.
Oh, yeah, since she loves to do something related to videographing, recording, and so on. So
It's
that's
actually
why.
coming soon. We might start video.
Oh
Ah.
yes, sooner than you think.
Big
Yes.
project, I guess.
Yes. We just started our season 3 now.
Oh, season 3 already?
Yes. So well, at last season 3. So we've got big changes coming up in the way we structure, in the way we make the episodes, because and that brings us to the point where why did we start in the first place? It's a podcast. Starting a podcast seems very easy, but then sticking to it is like the hard part. Consistency. We had some challenges when it comes to consistency, because we stayed over like 4 months without posting.
Without
Yeah.
posting 4 months.
Yeah, with the excuse that we're preparing stuff behind, which we were, but they're not tangible excuses for people who would listen, for example. So we decided to change a lot of stuff in the way we organize, because we want to make this. We want to make this like a lifelong thing.
Yeah, lifelong
We
project.
just don't want to stop when everybody is graduated. As a matter of fact, Mariam and I already graduated.
Yeah.
We're still going.
So the last one will be Hajar.
Hopefully
I
it
guess.
doesn't stop when Hajar graduates.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So consistency is our main target right now, and yeah, we've got big changes coming up, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. So basically, in your course, which is mechatronics, so for sure, your friends in the course know about the Castronics podcast, right?
Yes. I hope so.
Most of
Most
them.
of them, yes.
I'd like to think so.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. All right. So for the juniors, are there interested to become one of the Castronics Podcast whenever you guys have graduated soon. So, are there the juniors? Okay, are there? Have asked you, can I be the one who leads the Castronics Podcast after you guys leave and so on? Is there any of your juniors?
As a matter of fact, as I just said, we never expressed our need for someone else in the team because we wanted we wanted this to be like a lifelong thing.
I see.
So no matter where we're at in life, we want to continue that. But it could be a thing, it could be just one day we just decide, you know what?
Yeah.
We don't want to kill this, but we can do it ourselves, and partly we're gonna source people from outside. But yeah, there you go.
So I think your plan to do this project as a continuous one is really, really interesting.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to a student wanting to start their podcast, especially in UTM? Maybe from your own course, mechatronics, or from the other courses as well. For example, civil engineering, electrical engineering. They want to do their own podcast because they are really interested. Okay.
Okay.
Because they are really interested when they listen to your podcast. So what a piece of advice that you
Can I
want to
start?
give lah?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Really
Please
have an
enlighten
idea.
us.
Have an idea. Have a goal. Like, have a message you want to convey. Like, for us, I'd like to think that the message is where, like, it all happens with everyone. So, even us. So,
Okay.
like, you have someone to relate to, basically. Like, that's what I hope our podcast conveys. That, yeah, you go through these struggles, but it's not only you. There are other people, and maybe you can learn from them.
Okay.
And then, yeah, hopefully someone can like be consistent and have an idea and a message you really want to convey throughout your podcast, I think.
So basically, you're mentioning about the podcast identity itself.
Yes.
Okay.
To add on what Mariam
Okay.
said, to be basically passionate about something
All right.
is to basically just start. If you have an idea, as Mariam said, and you're really, really, really passionate about it, just start. Like, you never know how far it's gonna go. You don't really have to have a plan. You don't have to have think about future plans and all of that. Just start, basically.
Just start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have a rough idea of what's going on. Just design, do everything, and just post.
To add on to their points, first of all, know why you're starting.
Okay.
Are you starting because you want to be famous? Or are you starting because you've got some time to spare? So have the right intention, and that'll basically tell you why you should start in the first place. And then, as Hajar said, just start.
Just start.
We didn't know how far we would have come at this point at the very beginning, and we wouldn't have known that we could have achieved certain stuffs on the way. But we just started, and we figured the how on the way. I think, and that actually applies to everything that you want to do in life. You gotta know.
Yeah.
There are 3 questions that I like to ask whenever I start something new.
Okay.
When it comes to work.
All
Okay.
right.
First of all, as I said, why do I want to start?
Why do I want to start?
Second thing, what do I have to lose? And third thing, what do I have to earn? The first thing, if I already have a reason, let's say that I want to start this podcast because I want to bring like a different flavor to podcasting in general.
Okay.
Sure thing. If you're convinced by that idea, go ahead. Second reason, what do I have to lose? I always say that you either learn or you either make it or you learn, like that's like the worst case scenario. You're going to learn something. Let's say that we start the podcast and it fails. What did I lose?
Yeah.
Nothing. I just
Nothing.
learned a new
No
experience.
one will be mad at you.
Now I know how to speak on a mic.
Yeah.
I know how to post on social media.
Okay.
I only learn new stuff. And then, what do I have to earn? Well, I'm going to earn recognition, maybe, if that's your goal. I'm going to earn impact. I can impact people in a positive way.
Yeah.
And then you move on, Those are the 3 criteria or the 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. Once those questions are answered, then you know whether or not you need to start a podcast. And by the way, I mean, I'm open to the ideas of many people starting podcasts like the Castronics and UTM. I mean, we like to say that we're the first podcast by UTM students, by
Ooh.
international UTM students in UTM,
Okay.
as I said. But I'd love to see other podcasts like this in UTM with different flavors and probably with different topics. It would bring a lot of variety because I think it's if we think about it like a market, podcasting is not a saturated market.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space. There's a lot of room for new ideas and new improvisations. So why not?
Yeah.
Just start. Know why you're starting and just start. Simply put.
Okay, good input from the Castronics podcast as well. Okay, so speaking about the Castronics podcast, okay, so as general, when we handle a program or when we do something big, okay, something big or small, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's say it's a project that you have been working with, okay, the Castronics podcast, okay, basically. So is there any hiccups or challenges that makes you guys feel I don't want to continue this project?
Oh my god.
Or the bad scenario is you guys started to hate each of you. Can you share with us?
I don't think we've gotten to
Okay.
that level. But
All right.
we do sometimes feel like, do you really want to do this?
Okay.
I feel it sometimes.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, and I think it's just part of the process. If you guys wanna put some.
Yeah, same. This is the end of the Castronics. You heard it here.
We
No.
do have challenges. A lot.
Like, yeah, it's normal. Like, if you overcome the challenges and like the almost fighting, we don't fight. But soon, it's healthy. It's healthy. We need to fight. This is because we're different people with different
Yeah.
mentalities, and you have ideas and you discuss
The clash,
ideas.
the ideas.
Yes.
Okay.
So sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, sometimes I think it's like the miscommunication. That's all. So like once you actually do communicate, then it's fine. Cause I think so far our communication is good.
it's become way better than before.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's why I
actually
don't
true.
think we really fought. Yeah, it's just the communication between us.
I mean, we're
It
a team
wasn't-
at the end of the day.
It wasn't really fighting. It was basically like,
Disagreement.
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 Yeah,
The safe word.
Because like, how everyone really works at a different level.
Yeah.
Like for me, I get stressed out very easily. Mariam could just hate everything and just leave.
I don't leave. I just hate in silence. It's not healthy.
Silence.
Don't do that.
but you continue to do it.
Yeah.
The things that makes you hate it.
while hating.
Oh, good.
So like
With a smile.
sometimes. So like everyone works at a different level.
Yeah.
So we didn't really quite understand that at the beginning. And then we started like understanding how everyone works. And then we had more meetings, and then we kind of like, how do I say it?
Adjusted our
Yeah,
expectations.
adjusted, we adapted, and we had to make some sacrifices. Like, for example, like if someone has like a test,
Test,
like at the
okay.
end of the week, we would usually have like sometimes I would be so stressed out, I'd be like, no meeting. And then they would be like, okay, at least try on Sunday or at least try
At
on
least,
Monday,
okay.
It's just 1 hour. So I'd be like, okay, fine, guys. Okay, we can have the meeting, we can have the episode. So most of the time we're like, understanding of each other. And yeah, that's all.
I think we created a safe space
Yeah.
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
communicate.
Oh.
You see, we speak about mental health. But I think the actual reason why we keep doing this is because it's for our own mental health.
Ah,
Yes.
Because whenever we sit down and then we record, it's like a therapy session
Therapy
whereby each one of us opens up,
opens up.
shares his struggles, the things they learn. And at the end of the recording, just leave aside the mics, leave aside the cameras and everything. We just feel so much better all of a
So
sudden.
relief, right?
Yeah, because that's like our space for us to speak. So at first it was like a task, but then recently it's become like a thing we look forward to. So like let's say that we have a recording in 2 weeks. I'm actually looking forward to that because I'm gonna be able to speak out my mind and what I feel.
To
what
free up your mind,
exactly,
free your space.
And I think that's very important. But then when it comes to teamwork, obviously we're a team. So the thing is with consistency, you can't give 100% of yourself every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and some days you're going to be way more excited than usual, so you're going to give 110%.
Yeah.
And some others you're going to give like 80%.
80%.
Some others you're going to give like 10%. But as long as you give some percent, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
See?
A good, a good explanation for himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter how many percent that you give
As long
throughout,
as there's
throughout the day.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least there's something that you contribute. Okay. So can I know who's the calmest one in your team?
MBS.
Yes, the calmest one.
Yes, yes.
Is it a
He's
true?
like the diplomat.
Is it a true calm, or you get actually in your mind you have a lot of roller coaster emotions?
Okay,
but
let's know now.
Yeah, I want to know.
can you? Your
like
team
big
also
curfew
doesn't
and
know the real thing about the
I
calmest
don't know,
aspect.
For me, I'm generally someone that is very optimistic.
Okay, optimistic,
Well, recently I've adjusted that word. I'm more realistic.
realistic.
Just to not expect the worst. For me, in my opinion, there's just no need to rush everything all the time. Just take it easy. If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen.
Just started to making face.
This is what I say.
It's like
I'd actually love to know
meh.
Excuse me.
because they say that I'm calm, but I don't feel like I'm calm. I don't know why do you guys say that, but I'd love to know that why.
You're very understanding.
Yeah, you're very
I appreciate
understanding.
it.
Like, oh my god, what we do. It's like, you know how like it's like a grown up and two kids just messing
Yeah.
everything up.
Okay.
And
Basically.
you're like trying to control them like in public. So I think that's us.
The two children,
We're
the
the
two
two kids.
children,
Yeah,
the
he's the
two
adult.
kids.
He's the adult in the podcast, basically. But yeah,
I mean, as Hajar said, everything comes with a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So we all sacrifice some level of ourselves for this podcast, and maybe that's just my part of.
I'd like to think we helped him reach this level of calmness.
I'll take that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, like he was like very very consistent, like works on schedule, has a schedule, has an actual like schedule he follows. But then I'm like the total opposite, like chaos at its finest.
If
And it's worse.
If you know Mariam and I, you would think that we could never work together. We're just so different in so many ways,
Yeah,
but we make it happen.
but yeah. So I think like there's balance between the three of us, which is like Allah, like Allah
Yeah.
made that happen.
I'll make it easy.
Yeah, so I think that's like what helps really. That there is balance between us. Like there's so much chaos, and then there's so much calmness, and then Hajar, who's like in the middle. Sometimes she's calm, sometimes she's very chaotic. So I think it's nice. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
we kind
balanced.
of work well together.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then you
Best
learn
team
by the
ever.
time. Like the more we spend, the more we learn about each other, the more we understand,
Yeah.
and it gets better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a learning process.
It's
Yes.
basically a
It's a
learning
continuous
That's why it's
process
very
of learning.
important to choose the right person when
Yeah.
you start a project. Just because someone is your friend does not mean that you guys can work together.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
And we can see that even in housemates, for example.
Oh my
Because
god.
you've got people that want to live together
Yeah.
because they're friends, and then once they see the real side of each other, they don't want to see each other.
Oh, I
anymore.
feel that. I feel
I've
that.
seen a lot of friendships break up
Yeah.
that way. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to knowing properly who is the right teammate that you need. Just because I like you does not mean that I need you.
Yeah,
You
true.
know? There you go.
So a good team is really
It's gonna
important.
be very contradicting. Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
As usual.
It's okay.
What do I
Just go on.
What do I know?
The first fun fact, by the way,
Okay.
fact. The first episode, okay, I didn't know who MBS was. The first
We met-
episode is when I first met MBS.
Yes, we first met on the first episode.
And the first episode and the second one, to be
It
honest.
shows how chaotic I am.
Mariam is the one who put us together.
You wanna know how? I have a recording. Let me pull that
Okay. So basically, our audience, it's interesting to listen to the audio that Haja will share to us.
Yesterday, we found out the text
up. Yeah.
at the very beginning before we start the podcast, and it was like a laughing session.
So like basically the first day, the first time we were going to record, it was just me and MBS, and then
Supposedly.
and then I was like, oh, I know Hajar, she has skills. you wanna do that? She was like, yeah. And then we started, and then who was ambassador? She didn't know. She knew him like on the first episode while talking.
Yeah. So this is the recording, by the way.
All right.
So like,
This is me.
Wait.
so like, fun request and question and killer. So like, I'm probably like almost gonna like start a podcast, my MBS, my senior, to talk about shit because I'm talkative.
Oh no.
Anyways,
No.
so it'll be a fun podcast to them.
Oh my god.
And we wanted people on board like a team. Okay. So I thought of you, but I had to ask first.
Yeah.
فإيه رأيك?
Yeah.
As
So
a
that's
producer and like editor guest كمان, because you love talking برضو.
yeah.
And you're like ما شاء الله insanely talented in this.
Excuse the language.
Yeah, excuse the
You get
language.
the point.
Yeah.
But like, at first I was supposed to be a producer, but then here I
A
am.
producer and an editor.
And an
like
editor
a-
and a guest. So I was like, let's go. I'm down. So yeah.
So basically, the audio is what I heard is
Yeah.
like a persuasion. I think the
I was
description of a
asking-
person
She
that
was
you
asking,
uh,
basically.
15 minutes before we actually recorded. So,
Yeah.
Crazy.
okay, but now
No,
season
it's good.
3 already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my
it's
god.
crazy.
What a journey you guys
Oh,
have.
We've come a long way, alhamdulillah. And it's
Yeah.
all because of the
Yes.
grace of Allah. You
Alhamdulillah.
know, if it were just on ourselves, we would have never done it, to be very honest. So alhamdulillah. It's
Alhamdulillah.
been a nice journey process and we hope that it continues.
Inshallah.
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 Looking forward to listen to your season 3 Castronics
Yes.
podcast. Okay.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
All right. So, audience, for anyone out there having a dream to start their own podcast, doesn't matter what is your mission and vision for the podcast, it doesn't matter. As long as you guys have the idea, you guys have a good team to work with, then just start. Okay, we never know what reward or challenge that awaits. Okay, that awaits us. All right, so let's shift gears and bring our listeners into the conversation. Okay, so just now we're the only 4
Yeah.
talking, right? So for sure they will have some sort of questions that they want to ask us. Okay, they want to ask you, the audience. Okay, so we got some great questions submitted by you guys out there. All right, so and I can't wait to read it and ask our panels about it. Okay, so all right, I've got the list of questions here. Okay, thank you for the thank you for the audience that sent us the questions. Okay, so you guys can answer it. There's no specific order.
Okay.
So you guys, if you guys have the answer, then you guys just answer the question. Okay. All right. So from Nur, okay, have you ever experienced some sort of culture shock? Okay, and I believe culture shock is really near. Okay, it's a good topic to discuss,
Yeah.
especially from you guys, international students. Culture shock in Malaysia.
Yes, definitely. I mean, imagine you being raised in the Middle East, and then all of a sudden you go to a beautiful country, in Asia, Southeast Asia, which is Malaysia, basically.
Malaysia.
And then you find out that they have a totally different lifestyle, totally different way of living. It is indeed different. I mean, a culture shock. I don't know what to add to that, but yeah, we did experience that, and it wasn't always easy to manage.
Is it a bad one?
But
The
yeah,
culture
it's not a bad culture shock. Like
yeah.
It's a good one.
like when I first came here, it was in 2017.
Okay.
So like when I was telling my friends, "Oh, I'm going to Malaysia," so they're like, "Oh, how will you communicate?" No one really knows. Like at the time, no one knew where Malaysia was. I didn't know where Malaysia was. I was like, "Where's that country?" And then when I came here, I was like, "Oh, people are really nice. I can communicate. Everything is amazing. I love this country. I want to stay here." And now, yeah, since 2017. So the culture shock wasn't really that bad for me. It was actually very positive.
Actually, culture shock does not necessarily mean something bad. It could be positive.
Yeah.
You know, it could be like a wake up call. You know, oh, No, actually, people different than the way I used to live it. You know. There you go.
For me, there wasn't that much culture shock. The only cultural shock that I had was the food.
The food,
It was
okay.
very spicy.
Really spicy?
Yeah,
Yes.
I cannot tolerate spices, to be honest.
Tak pedas.
Tak
That's
pedas.
how I live.
Always add
That's
tak
how I
pedas
live.
when you order something.
She taught me that word, by the way.
Tak pedas.
So-
Can one of you speak Malay maybe in one sentence?
I know the numbers. I know the words.
Okay.
I know everything food related
All right.
to survive.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I can also say, I think, nama saya Maryam.
Okay.
I think, and then okay, saya belajar
Okay. Go on.
dan University Technology Malaysia. Kejuruteraan. It's very hard.
Kejuruteraan?
Yeah, that one.
Yes, that
Kejuruteraan. Really fluent.
Okay, electric mechanics.
Kejuruteraan.
Look,
Yeah.
I know my way through.
The word
I'm
is
not a
so
fluent
hard.
speaker,
Like the word for engineering in Malay, it's like the hardest word in the whole sentence. And like,
I
why?
actually agree.
It's like kejuruteraan, I think.
Yeah,
Kejuruteraan.
kejuruteraan.
Yeah. So that's all the Malay I know. Yeah.
I think I know around the same
only to survive.
Boleh.
boleh. Okay, a good word. Okay, there you know. Boleh.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Like I can't speak it, but I can understand from context clues.
Ah.
Like I can if they're talking and I started like listening to the conversation from the beginning. So yeah, I know what they're talking about, but I wouldn't know like specific details.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, good. So
That answers your question, Noor.
culture shock aspect. All right. Next question. Okay. Do you ever feel homesick? Okay. Do you ever feel homesick? If yes, how do you cope with it? Homesick.
I'd like to answer that.
Okay. Go on.
'Cause, at the very start, when I was during COVID,
Okay.
I stayed in Malaysia actually. I didn't go back home
For the 2 years.
for the whole year, first year.
Oh, first year. Okay.
First year. I stayed in Malaysia, and at first, I didn't really like feel homesick
Okay.
because I was enjoying the isolation life at first. I was really happy with how I get to do my own stuff, freedom, and all of that. And then second year, I got to see my family again, and it was as much as if it's as much as it was a happy moment. Of course, like I missed my family, but at first, like during the first year, I didn't really feel homesick. The homesickness kicked in during my last year, actually.
Okay.
So basically, during the summer holidays, I went
Right.
back to my family, and I spent like 3 months there. You go crazy sometimes, dealing with your family and all of that. But I didn't know how much like family was important until that summer holiday. So during the year, like after the summer holiday, I started feeling homesick. I was like, oh, I actually kind of miss my family. I miss my country, and I miss like where I used to live and where I used to stay. I miss the food. I miss like everything about my country. So dealing with it was a bit hard at first. Mostly, I usually go eat. Like I usually go to like Arabic restaurants
Okay.
and be like, oh, this is the food I used to eat, and this is like my mom used to make that food. And then during Eid, I used to be like, oh, we have like this popular dish in Egypt.
Okay.
It's called feta. During
Feta.
like whenever
Yeah.
the second Eid, Hari Raya, I don't remember the name, to be honest. It's the second Eid. So we have this dish we usually make every single time, and I started making it.
Make it on your
Yeah,
own.
I
Yes,
started
and I
making it
eat
on
it
my
too.
own.
Alright.
She ate. Yeah.
Is it good?
I eat it. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like mostly how I deal with it.
Homesickness for me did not kick in when I first came to Malaysia because I was so ingrained or invested in the fact that I was finally going to have my own freedom. Let's say that I was too busy to think about
Okay.
the fact that I actually miss my family. So I only missed them when COVID hit.
When COVID hit.
When COVID hit, I was alone.
Where were you at that time?
I was in campus in KLG actually. Or
Okay,
here
KLG.
in Johor. And when it first hit, you were not able to meet anyone. You were not able to travel to your family.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually missed my family, you know. And then fast forward a few months later, I went back to them, and then I got used to seeing them back, and then I just forgot what homesickness meant for about 2 years, I'd say. And then I came back to Malaysia. Ever since, I just loved Malaysia. So now I don't think about it anymore. I try to make up or to enjoy most of the time. When I'm here, I think about the things I can do here that I can't do there. And when I'm there, I think about the things that I do there that I can't do here. So there you go, man.
I think, it makes you, being an international student makes you grateful
Yeah.
to
It's
your
like having
family and your
two-
country, and
It's like, but now it's like having two homes.
yes,
let's say.
when you're there, you miss here. When you're
Exactly.
here,
When
you
you're here,
miss
you miss
there.
that.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Identity
Yeah.
crisis, but I'm fine with it.
feel. Yeah.
All right, good insights from you guys when we talk about homesick, because homesick is not everyone will experience it,
Yeah.
right? Especially for the local people. When we talk about homesick, it's just like I'm in JB right now, right? Johor.
Yes.
So my hometown is at Malacca. So the homesickness
It's reduced.
is reduced or sometimes zero because it's so near and I can go back at this
Yes.
night. Okay, all right. So next, I think it's related to podcast production actually,
Yeah.
because one of the audience have asked, how do you guys find topics to talk about in the podcast? All right. So I've been wanting to do a podcast myself, yet I struggle to find topics to talk about it.
If you guys allow me
ChatGPT?
No.
ChatGPT, we all know.
ChatGPT is gonna help you.
Yeah, it's gonna help you.
in later processes. But at first of all, you gotta know what is your general theme.
General theme.
So we know that our theme is anything related to students,
Okay.
life of students in university in Malaysia as international students. And then when it comes to the topics, we recently have it organized. We have like an idea bank. whereby
Idea
we-
bank,
Yeah.
alright.
So what? Because sometimes the wildest ideas come when you're taking a shower.
Yeah,
Or you just woke up.
that's the real
or
one.
you're about to drive your car,
Yeah.
so that's when you write down the idea, and then when we have the meeting, we analyze the different ideas. She usually have like bursts of ideas in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah,
You'll be
literally.
waking up, you'll be waking up, and then
Like-
you see the message. It's like 3 a.m. She's like, "Guys, I have an idea." It's like 3 lines, 5 lines. Just write it down. So have an idea bank, so that whenever you think about it, you could come up with a new idea and then select accordingly.
So basically, whenever you have the idea, basically it's the doesn't matter how big or small the idea is.
Have a
just
theme.
Okay.
And then have topics.
Yeah, have
and think
topics.
about ideas. It takes time, but you'll come up.
And always have like a spare bank of ideas.
Yeah.
Like you can have like a main topic, and then you can have like subtopics. Like for example,
Subtopics.
traveling.
Okay,
You can
traveling.
talk about traveling, okay? But you can have one episode talking about airplanes, for example, traveling through
Oh,
airplanes.
alright.
One episode talking about bus traveling, for example. And then you can talk about interstate traveling from KL to Johor, for example, or to Malacca. There is also like, car traveling, road trips and all of that. So every topic, every main topic, big topic has like its own subtopics. So you can have like more episodes. So, yeah.
So when you have the big theme, and then you
Theme.
guys will.
Topics.
Yeah,
Subtopics.
All right.
subtopics.
A good way of having topics as well is to think about what has not been discussed before, or what do people need to hear about. Let's say that I provide help for mental health, for example. What do people need to know? I want to speak about stress management. I want to speak about how to go through exam sessions. So try and examine what your potential audience needs to hear or what they need to learn. Could help you as well bring up topics.
So it doesn't need to be a very rare topic to talk about,
Oh,
right?
something
No,
very
no.
generic. But them hearing it from you
Yes,
makes
because
a
everyone
difference.
has their own
Yeah.
perspective on
your own
something.
flavor to it.
How you want to elaborate it will
Yes.
From
differentiate you with
Yeah.
From your
the,
From what the
perspective
point of view.
and your brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of podcasting, I guess. All right. So next question. A lot of questions for you guys actually, because you're the one who produced the Castronics Podcast, right? So,
Allegedly.
all right.
Allegedly.
So, what satisfaction do you guys get from doing such podcast? Okay, I can give you a situation when you guys have done 1 or 2 episodes, okay? And then what will you guys feel about it? Do you
When
guys
it
feel
helps
satisfied
someone.
enough? What?
When someone tells me, yeah, I was like at a very low point, and then I listened to that and I related, and it made me feel better. When I feel like what I did helped someone through something, not even, it doesn't need to be something big. Just they were feeling lonely, and then they listened to our podcasts, and then they felt like they had friends. I think someone told me, yeah, I was feeling a bit lonely, and then I feel like when I'm listening to you guys, it's like we're having a discussion with friends, and it
alright.
makes me feel included and
Okay.
stuff. And I love that so much. Like this gave me like a burst of motivation to continue.
to keep
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
podcasts.
Yes.
I get 2 sources of satisfaction.
All right.
The first one, as I said, is when we record, it's like a therapy session.
Okay.
So
That you said
that's
just now.
one satisfaction. The second one, as Miriam said, is like the impact that you produce on people. We've received DMs of people saying, "Oh, I was just about to start uni, and then I came across your podcast.
Okay.
It really helped me manage my first year." I was like, "That's amazing," you know.
That's amazing.
People commenting on certain episodes. For example, we had one episode where we spoke about internships
All right.
with
Internships.
Khalid Khalil, basically.
Hmm?
And there's a guy who came up to me and was like, you know, I was really struggling into how to find internship. And then after I watched that, I listened to that episode, everything became so clear. So when you know that you have that impact on people, it really keeps you going, and
Yeah.
it's a different type of satisfaction.
So any criticism that you guys get from the audience itself,
What we don't get.
don't get. It's good.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is,
yes, yes, yes.
definitely.
It's good.
Look, as far as criticism is concerned, I love criticism
Okay.
as long as it's constructive.
Constructive one.
It's not just bare criticism, like, oh, I don't like it. Okay, what do I do to you? You
Then?
know? But if you say, you know what, your podcast is good, you don't have to say it's good. Your podcast is this and that, but it would be better if you guys did this, like suggestions. You know, I'd really appreciate that because we're looking to become
Yeah,
better.
to
you know?
improve from time
Yeah.
to time.
Exactly. As long as it's constructive, I don't mind criticism. In fact, you should be worried if you don't get any
Yeah.
criticism.
We will feel so much comfortable for what we have just now, right?
Yeah.
Without
And there's no
criticism.
improvement.
Yeah,
there's no
then there's no
improvement.
If you
improvement.
don't get any criticism, that means that people just don't care.
Yeah,
So you should be worried.
should be worried about it.
Criticism is a good thing.
Sometimes
in general.
people love when they don't get any criticism because they feel like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. And
Oh, you're never doing the right thing.
Yeah, we
You're
never
always
know.
messing up somewhere. But then, do you have the right people to lift your face up to that thing? That's the real question.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we can move to the next question. All right. Okay. This question is much casual. Okay. Doesn't related much to the podcast. Okay. So don't worry. Okay. So where's the place you guys meet or hang out after class and after a whole week of classes, a hectic week, for example? So when you where's the place that you guys will
That's
meet
a famous
and hang
question.
out?
You guys start.
Where would we start?
It doesn't have to be us. I think the question is
Wait,
more
you
to
mean like
each one of us, like
Hanging
Where
out
do
or
you hang
recording the
out?
podcast?
it's
Hanging
not
Is
really-
it like outside
Oh,
the
hanging
podcast?
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
just what do you do after classes?
Ah.
What do you?
What do I do after class?
Go home and sleep.
You go home and sleep.
Go home and sleep. Everyone do it.
no. I never go home and sleep.
Then
Oh, I hang out at Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah, so like ever since Zeus opened in Miranti,
Okay.
like so it opened in 4th year, right? So I would constantly, cause I would have so many tasks being like a 4th year student, so many tests, assignments, projects, whatever. So, and I don't like, and I've spent like 3 years of my life in the 24-hour study room. So I'm like done with the 24-hour study room, and no, I can no longer like be productive. So now I go to cafes, and what's the best cafe? Meranti. Like where can the best cafe be? Meranti, because like you have free Wi-Fi, you can drink,
you
can
you
eat.
got everything there.
Yeah, you can pray. So it's the perfect place. And then they have like multiple cafes, so
Yeah.
you can switch when you're bored. So throughout my final year, if you ever wanted to know where Mariam is, from like 4 to 11, she's in Meranti somewhere.
4 to 11.
Yes.
Such a long period you have spent there alone.
It's like mostly wasting time and just like 4 hours of productivity. Like 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and just talking with people the rest of the time.
Socializing.
I can say
Yes.
she's kind of right because I was there. I was also during my third year.
Okay.
She's fourth year. I was third year. So I was also hanging out at zoos with her, also wasting time and having fun switching from a cafe to another. Most of the time we would debate which cafe is the best, which is basically, for me, it's Zeus. And for her, it's Richiamo because of the drinks there.
Yeah, they have the best matcha latte.
Matcha
Yeah.
latte.
Yes, I love it there.
But
Wow.
I liked sitting in one place. Like whenever I finish classes, I
With
usually
Mariam. FYI, if you want to find Mariam, find Hajar.
Yeah.
You wanna find Hajar, find Mariam.
So when I meet Haja, then
she's somewhere around.
she's somewhere around. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, that was like a place where I used to go. Before that, I used to go to the library. I used to go to the study room also. But
PR
now-
is the S there.
No,
The one who near.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
PR is the S.
Now I think it's a mix. It's like a change of environment everywhere. Like, you know, somewhere I go to the library, somewhere I go to like the new library.
Okay.
Somewhere I go to zoos. Sometimes I go to like, you know, it's random places. Like, you know, whenever I think like, you know, I want to go this place. I want to go Coffee Bean, for example. And then I end up there. So yeah.
Please sponsor us. Joking.
Free publicity for Zeus
Yes.
Coffee.
I know,
Richiamo.
right? Richiamo,
All right.
sponsor us, please.
Sponsor, please sponsor our
Coffee Bean, we need
podcast. Sponsor the Castronics Podcast after this.
Free coffee.
Free coffee.
Okay.
All right. Can we jump into the last question? All right. So. All right. I think this question will, when you guys answer it, you guys will automatically helping those students who are struggle out there. All right. So the questions: how do you guys handle the public speaking and also class presentations pressure? Because I believe this is a difficult thing for most of the students. Okay, doesn't matter you are from international students or local students. Many of us having a big struggle about these skills, talking in front of the people, doing presentations, even in class. So
Look, public speaking is, first of all, just so I can put the dots on the
Okay.
words, it's much easier than people think. I used to be an introvert, and then I'm an extrovert. And it wasn't an easy change. But if I have one tip to give when it comes to public speaking, so before you enter a presentation,
okay,
I remember last time we had the TEDx event, and I was an MC there. I was given an advice to someone who wanted to become an MC. Speak to the people you were going to present to before you come on the stage.
okay,
Because imagine it's like a big group of friends,
all right,
okay? So try to sit with some of them. Like before you present, go sit with this guy and say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing? And then go to the other person. Just try to familiarize yourself with the people you know.
just to make yourself
Exactly. So that
be
when
there.
you're on the stage, you realize that, oh, these are just human beings just like me. I have no reasons to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
That's how I think.
Right. So how about you, Mariam or Haja? How do you guys handle the pressure of speaking in front of the
Okay, so
people?
in my opinion, it's a very scary thing.
A scary
like-
thing.
Mashallah, Hajar and MBS, they are very good public speakers.
Alright.
They have like some experience and stuff like that. But then I you know when you like start like before you like go into like speaking something
Okay.
like into like doing a presentation, and then you start getting shortness of breath and
Yeah.
your hands start shaking
Started
and it's
to-
very cold and your hands or feet are very cold and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you just go. Yeah, so far I black out.
You black
I mostly black out. So if I'm not prepared for like public speaking, like a group presentation, if I don't know my topic really well so that I can improvise, then I start like getting the jitters and like getting very nervous. If because usually I like to like improvise.
Okay.
Like I know my topic, I know my way around it, so I can say whatever I want, and I know what I'm saying, and I know that the message I want to convey. But then when I'm not prepared, that's when it happens. So my advice is prepare yourself very well.
Very well. about the
No,
topic that
to the point where you can improvise. That's from like a Mariam's perspective. If you can improvise your topic, and if you know, like, if there's a specific scientific thing, and like you know what you're talking about, you know your topic, then you're fine. And you made your slides, so you know where everything is, then you're good to go. And once you like break that nervous thing in front of the people, like once you get nervous in front of the audience, that's when it all like
falls apart.
So as long as you're like holding yourself together and confidence, even if it's fake confidence, then you're good to go.
at least you have something in here. Then
Yes.
you guys.
And always
then
say
you
one
will.
dua. There is one dua that we're taught to say before you give any sort of speech. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. That really helps a lot before doing any kind of speech.
For me, I really appreciate you saying I'm good at public speaking, even though I really don't see it, to be honest. But most of the time, whenever like I speak about something, it's usually about something I'm very passionate about, or like something I just learned. For example, like group presentations. When it comes to that, I really like group presentations because I really worked hard on this slide, okay, and I would love to present it. So I'm doing something out of love. So basically, if I go to present, I'm actually very excited most of the time, which appears kind of as confidence, but behind it, I'm really, really nervous. Somehow no one sees that, but I'm the only one who knows that I'm actually nervous. But then what's appearing to everyone else is that I'm actually confident, I'm very passionate, I'm very, I know what I'm doing, but I actually don't. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just excited to present whatever it is. That's for group presentations. However, when it comes to like public speaking itself, like being an MC, okay, I've been an MC at my graduation, my high school graduation, and it was nerve-wracking. I'd like to tell you, but I had the script prepared before, so having a prepared script for me helps calm me down a bit, and having actually having the right words, like most of the time whenever I'm speaking, okay, no words. No words coming in here. So I just end up saying rubbish and sending just like now, okay? it comes out saying like weird things, okay? And it's not making sense. So if you have a script prepared, most of the time it's like really helps you with what you're about to say. So yeah.
So you can always fall back on that when you're running out of words.
Yes. So like you prepare at the beginning, like you write what you want to say.
Yeah.
And then say whatever you want. Because you already know that you want to say these things.
You want to talk about this.
You kind of have an outline. Even if you don't read the actual script. As long as you know like what to say, then it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry. So, 3 different approaches on how to overcome the fear to talk in front of the people, right?
Know your space. And then her advice.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Too intense, I guess. Too intense. Okay. So, I guess that's all for our discussion, and we need to wrap up because the time is really limited for us to continue the discussion. So I hope to see you guys soon.
Kind of wish it was longer, to be honest.
Yes, I enjoyed this.
I really enjoyed it.
Unfortunately, the director just only allocate some of specific time. All right. So before we wrap up, okay, I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank to each of you for the amazing guest panel today. All right, it's our amazing guest today, Muhammad, Mariam, and also Hajar. It's been such a pleasure having you here. Your insights, your stories, and energy truly made this podcast really, really special. All right. So, lastly, a big shout to you. Right, a big shout to you. Big shout to you. Whether you've been here from the beginning or in the middle of the podcast, all right, it doesn't matter. Okay. Thank you for spending your time with us, your valuable time with us. You're the heart of this podcast. And we truly appreciate each and every one of you. All right. So as we wrap up for our session, I love to invite everyone, speakers and listeners alike, to join for a virtual group snapshot. All right, as our memories. Okay.
As we do that, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for the invitation.
All right.
It's a real honor.
We're very honored.
All right. This is a good slogan, okay? I love our listeners to drop a comment, all right? As interaction between us in the studio and also you guys out there. Power of campus networking. So please drop a comment with those words, okay? I repeat, power of campus networking. Let's make some noise in the chat, all right? Okay.
Yes, virtual noise.
Right. So once again, virtual noise. Okay. Once again, a huge thank to every one of you for being with us today. All right. Stay curious, stay connected, and keep the conversations going. Don't forget to fill out the attendance form by scanning the QR code that is presented to you on the screen later on. All right. So it's important for your e-certification and UTM merit. All right. So until next time. This is Haris Daniel signing off. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is shared.
Right. Thank you.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Thanks a lot and see you soon, inshallah.
Right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Haja
Yo.
Mariam
Thank you
and also
so much.
Muhammad. Berlumba-lumba. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This was so fun.